Well, welcome. We couldn't come up with any other name other than it's the non-COVID-19 podcast. Can you believe we've done What are you doing?
Cutting stickers.
Are you going to pay attention to this podcast, or are you just going to sit over there and finally work for a living today?
I am going to be a disaster this entire podcast.
Now, whoa. How does that differ from the last 18?
What are you talking about?
Exactly. You just sit there and cut.
Yeah, this is the problem that I have personally. I'm not a very good multitasker. I like, your wife ever tell you, like, when you're sitting and you're watching TV, you're not listening to what they're saying, and you're watching the TV and you're trying to listen and you hear it, but you don't really know what they're saying. You're listening. You know what I mean? That's me. I am like the picture perfect person that's like that. So I got stuff I got to get done, right?
Brett's got a lot of nervous energy this time of year because he starts to get more intense, and
I can't sleep. I got anxiety terrible because I had too much crap to get done. It's just nonstop. I'm going 10 different directions.
I don't know if you know this or not.
These things show up this morning. You brought them.
Yeah, I brought them. I'd turn around and go back and get them because I almost forgot them.
Which I do like them. I wish we could.
Yeah, that's why it's a little behind.
Wish we could zoom in. We can't zoom in.
Here, give me that.
Nate. But it says, we went back to the I survived.
Here, give me that.
The
I
Super
can give
Nationals.
it to the camera.
It's our participant decal that we put in all the driver packets for all the racers. So they came this morning. We're busy putting all of our... Oh, you zoomed in?
Whoa, where'd you get the zoomer at?
I look like I've been in bed all night.
How'd you zoom that like that, Nate?
I survived.
You got like super controls back there or something?
If you can zoom like that, why don't you zoom in on the new look Ryan Clark?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, zoom in on this fancy shirt I'm wearing.
5th annual IMCA Super Nationals.
35 years ago.
1987 I-35 Speedway, Mason City.
I was there.
That's still a thing?
I was not there.
I know you weren't. I was there.
1987, I was, how old was I?
15,
I was 15 in 87.
13.
My wife was 6. But yeah, so this thing's a little tight. It's like got that beefy T feel, if I Incredible Hulk this sucker. I'm gonna rip the back.
I am a real American.
Yeah,
It looks a little weathered.
Hulk
A little
Hogan,
yellow.
crap.
I'm like, when I stretch my arms out, the sleeves go to my shoulders. I'm like, where's the sleeve at in this shirt?
So
I'm not sure if this
sun's
is
out, guns out.
Yeah, Jim or Tim Cooney.
Tim.
That is Tim Cooney.
Okay, yeah, we want to thank Tim for sending this to us. He sent it with a little note there.
Thought maybe you might like to have this shirt perhaps display somewhere. If not, let Jerry use it as a grease rag.
I hope to not ruin it by wearing it for an hour while I'm cutting stickers. It might get a little smelly under the armpits.
You know what would have been fun for the podcast?
What?
Put on Jerry.
What size is it?
Not big enough.
What movie is that from? That guy says fat guy in a
that's
little...
Tommy Boy.
It's Tommy Boy.
There you go.
Fat guy in a little coat.
Jerry could have a midriff on. He look like all the kids these days.
I mean, it was an
It is first day of school. We got to take a picture.
It was an XL.
We're
so
sending Ryan and
Jerry
Jerry to school. Jerry's showing midriff, and Ryan apparently grew a caterpillar on his lip.
Oh, look at that.
It's like
new look Ryan Clark.
I like
New
it.
look.
I like it. It goes good with the Regal Beagle, the
Yes,
70s look. Now, I'm not sure if you're going for like the 70s baseball player, state trooper, or porn star.
You know what? When I got dressed this morning, I thought, what am I going to wear? I'm going to put this shirt on.
Come and knock on my door.
When did this show start?
70s.
When did it end? 80s?
Early
It was
80s.
kind of complimentary with the Super Nationals car count. I thought I'd be 70s into the 80s. We're at 781 cars for Super National, so this was appropriate.
That's enough for a race.
I like the look. It reminds me of your brother.
My brother, okay. I think Ron Jeremy was known for. I think Ron Jeremy was known for more than just giving mustache rides.
Yeah.
We need to go back to the NC-17 rating.
Yeah.
We can't talk about that guy too much. Holy schmoly.
Ryan Clark going for the Ron Jeremy look this year. Super
I'll
National.
let
You
it-
might
I'm not
need
gonna
to, you
keep
might
it.
need to work on the hair though.
I'm going to get a haircut.
Ryan Jeremy,
Be
that's what
bald.
they're going to call you.
Ryan Jeremy.
You know what my wife told me one time?
It'll be gone before Bill.
When I say, Ryan Jeremy, besides the funniness of that whole situation, my wife told me one time, never trust a man with 2 first names. Have you ever heard that?
No.
She told me that one time. I learned so much shit from my wife. She's like, culturally, she grew up so much different in Texas than when I grew up here. And so she says stuff. I'm like, where do you come up with this? And she's like, everybody knows this. I'm like,
I've heard it before.
I've
never heard
that.
it.
Never trust a man with 2 first names. She'd probably say that right now if she was in here.
Never trust a cow you can't tip over.
She wanted to be on the podcast, and I said,
Today or
Whoa,
just in
whoa,
general?
whoa! Time out. She wanted to be on the podcast, and you told her no.
Yeah.
Leave the room.
I
Leave
have
the
Be a lot more
room.
I
entertaining.
have enough anxiety the way it is. I do not need any more by having my wife sit in here beside me and say something that it would be worse than I say. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she could get away with it
Yeah.
because she's better looking than you.
Well, duh.
Jerry, what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, what are
Do
we
you have an
gonna talk
agenda?
today?
You
Wait,
were
oh,
responsible for the agenda today.
How was I responsible for the agenda?
Well, you had so much extra time since you got here late today.
Well, what we could do,
Whoa, go ahead, caller.
we could make this an extra long podcast. And
Yeah.
have Brett do a pit meeting from the Super Nationals.
Oh my
that will kill
God,
2
those things
hours.
start like it. Hang on a minute.
I've got work to
Hello
do.
and welcome.
You guys are so mean. Are you ever going to let up on this?
No.
Your pit meetings?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's longer, your pit meeting or your national banquet speech.
Oh, come on now.
I mean,
At
they
least
both
he's
will put a guy
Coming
to sleep.
from the guy that just likes to hear himself talk.
Well, people like to hear me talk too.
Wait
I
a
feel
minute.
sorry
People
for
more
you.
look forward
I
to
feel
you when you
sorry
stop
for
talking,
Jackie.
Jerry.
Name one.
Hey, we're going to have a contest. The first person that calls in and says, I'd like to have Jerry talk.
We ain't taking calls yet.
They like to listen to you announce races. Talk in general.
Talking
I
and
don't
yeah,
think.
yeah. There's a difference.
Hey,
What? Go ahead, caller.
we put that super junk shot glass out there on the table today. Can't see all this stuff. Throw some Super Nationals stuff on the table. But I ordered some slushy machines.
I know we're in for
Perfect.
slushies.
So we are getting.
We're gonna. Are we gonna? So now we're up to
Set.
three slushy machines now, right?
You'll have 3 slushy machines at the Super Nationals, and I don't know how many flavors or how this works. And if I needed to order the flavoring, you can buy the flavoring for them.
No, see, hang on a
just
minute.
pop last year.
Hang on, I got it.
If it's all
We
custom.
got it in the fridge, don't we?
Here's a
We
shit.
had that up here once before.
Right
But
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
are you going to have one flavor, or are you going to be
No,
like
we're gonna have
Mix and match, don't you?
2 flavors.
2
We gotta
flavors?
have more than that, though.
Oh, man.
You're going to have 6
6
compartments?
containers of frozen.
So you could have 6 flavors.
Vibration.
We could, but then it gets into then you
You say
forget.
vibrations? Libations.
Yeah.
It's called
Libations.
libations. We're gonna have spirits.
You're back on the Ron Jeremy thing.
6 so I didn't order any flavoring for the machine. So you guys
No,
are gonna
this
have
is
to
what
customize all
what
these.
this is for.
Okay.
And I got the soda.
Yeah.
Wade's got
Wade's got the. Does Wade
Wade-
have the moonshine?
I don't. He might know a guy.
Let's hope.
Does
If
he-
not, I see where he did some. Is it pre-sales that they were doing for
Yeah,
that?
working on the pre-sales for
I
the bottles.
thought I saw a post that he had posted. I was going to share it on our Facebook page, but it was about where you could pick that stuff up.
Fairway and
Yeah,
Fairway and Hy-Vee.
Fairway and
In
Hy-Vee
Boone.
and Boone.
in
Yeah.
Boone. So, and he just did the Knoxville stuff, So I see he just, they had a custom bottle there too. That's where we met Wade.
That's where it started. That's where
Knoxville,
I met him.
and the Knoxville Nash isn't IMCA sanctioned, running IMCA sanctioned cars or anything like that. But it's worth noting that's kind of how we met Wade. I mean, he's a sprint car guy a little bit, isn't he?
That's the one.
He just likes racing.
That's
all
the
the
one
time.
good thing
Yeah,
you've done
he
for
said
us,
that
Jerry.
to us.
That's the one good thing I've done. Oh, I'm so glad I did one good thing.
Well, let's not push it.
So the
What
pieces are starting to come together. even the participant decals are
So if you happen to miss the lengthy drivers meeting from Brett,
really.
in your packets that drivers will get, you'll get a lot of packets. You guys are getting ready to put packets together.
We are putting driver packets together.
Which is that you get a sticker.
Yep, you'll get your participant decal, you'll get a tech sheet, you'll get the procedures. And we try to cover all of our bases in writing with everything. So if people have questions, there's reference, and if something happens, we have reference to fall back on. This is how we do it. This is our policy. Even stuff right down to the inclement weather from any type of a rain situation. If we lost a day of racing or half a day of racing or even just like a feature of racing, how we try to adjust so the racers know these kinds of things. Everything's pretty much in those procedures. Well, this year we've set up actually a QR code. We're going to put QR codes out at our registration tables when they're doing the draw.
So you can take your phone and go.
So you can scan it and it pops right up on your phone. So you don't really necessarily have to carry around the piece of paper, the handful of things that we're giving people. But things they're important and they're going to be available. I don't know if we'll make it ahead of the event, probably a little bit. So anybody that goes to the IMCA website will be able to more than likely pull up our procedures and all those other things. Fans don't ever get these. This is just stuff we give the racers. So race fans, you know, they have questions as well. You guys get them all the time. You're in the grandstands. You know, I don't get those kinds of questions usually. I get them from the racers. But, you know, this stuff will be available to the race fan as well. So, yeah, we try to put as much information out as possible. I just think it makes overall for the efficiency of the event, it makes it much more, it flows better. You know, if we don't have any surprises for the racers.
Transparent.
Transparent. Yep.
So we give enough information to where you're informed, but it's not overload. We don't, bury you with.
I mean, it tells you about
one
rules.
sheet.
Apparently, those are my drivers' meetings. That is where.
That's where it's an overload of information.
That's
where
where
we
That's an
bury
overload
people.
of repetition. You say the same thing over and
I
over.
will say though,
you know,
people,
but
people have made the
I
comments.
catch myself doing that sometimes and say,
happens.
shit, I shouldn't have said that again. But some of the things need repeated because
Yes.
we get the constant questions. You know, I do apologize, and I will apologize up front right now. If you're under one of those speakers at the Super Nationals in the pit area, sorry. You know, you're going to hear my voice, and you're going to hear it loudly. We'll try to we try to do it. We try to let everybody sleep. We try not to do it too early, but man, Super National starts early every day.
Do you want me to go get you more stickers? You're not pacing yourself very well.
I'm going as fast as I can possibly go. You know how many stickers
we
I
could
have?
have finished
What
all
we're
those in
gonna,
here.
what we're
I got to
gonna
cut
do
1,000
this
of these suckers.
year, and instead of the 40,000 to win, we're going to give out participation decals this year.
Well, we put it to vote.
The
We put it to the
drivers
vote.
There was a vote?
Yes,
drivers
the drivers voted, and they said they didn't want us to pay any more money.
No, they said 40's too much. Can we get a participant decal?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're going to do.
Put the juices on the
Oh,
floor.
put the juices on the floor.
They're in the way. We want to see Jerry.
We'd rather see the stickers.
Says nobody. Oh, you want to see me? There you go. Says nobody.
Yep, participant
my wife.
decals this year.
Oh, so, let me get out of the way. So there's.
So we're busy. You know, we're now's when for us everything's getting put together at the office. We're about what 10
Carson's
days
here.
10 days out roughly. Carson is here. Carson even has a Super National story from last night. I think
Yeah,
this
we
is,
need to have
We needed to have him in here.
Yeah, he needs to tell the story.
paging Carson.
is
Paging
hilarious.
Carson.
Carson.
Where's Carson at? He's
We go
probably
get
out
him?
cutting the other half of these decals.
Let me
No.
call Carson.
Maybe you can.
But
put him on
Carson-
He can tell
speakerphone.
us about where people watch IMCA
Becker
TV racing at.
Calling Carson Becker Graham.
Jim's got that damn voice to text or whatever on his phone. He's like,
You have it too.
I don't use it though. It's weird. It's like when
It doesn't
we talked
matter.
About this
You
last
just-
time, it's like talking into your phone.
Like it's like your
Yeah.
watch.
Carson,
Where are you?
could you come in here for a minute? We're not filming. We're just sitting here talking amongst the boys. Come on in.
Liar.
What?
It wouldn't be the first time Jim's told somebody they didn't know what's going on.
He's gonna know right when he walks in.
Oh, duh, he's gonna
I never
know.
counted how many of these things there
I
are.
think he knows right now.
Stop. If you count right there, this one that you've not counted.
Call Carson back and tell him to grab some more stickers.
I will. We'll let Carson sit here. He can take
There's 15 on a sleeve.
15.
15 is it?
I think I'm getting after this.
So we're
I hadn't
gonna,
even
You are
cut
gonna get them
myself.
all done.
so right now
How many coffees and energy drinks have you had today?
Today I had a bowl of
Fruity Pebbles?
Hey, today's my for I think a lot of adults right now are dealing with their kids going back to school.
Oh, Facebook told me
Today
Dealing
was-
with or celebrating?
Yeah, a little of both. First day of school for Kennedy. She was going back to school today, so she was down eating
What was on her
breakfast.
sign?
She didn't do a sign
She
today.
didn't do a
She
sign?
says, "Mom, I'm too old for that." So she's kind of to that point. My wife does that shirt that they wear. She puts a shirt on her, and so she bought it when she was going to kindergarten. And so she bought that shirt. She's had on that shirt on, and every year, first day of school, she takes a picture in that shirt, so she grows into the shirt. I think it's a really cool idea.
is
Again,
neat.
something I would never do, but again, my wife does. But anyhow, first day of school, so I had magic fruity pebbles for breakfast.
Magic. What's different about
We're
it?
not-
It
we're not on.
it purposely turns the milk purple. Ooh. And so Kennedy shared her. She had like yogurt with granola, and she's like, "You ever have yogurt with granola, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, Kennedy, they make it that way." But she mixed it, and she was proud of that. And I ate her cereal.
Magic fruity pebbles.
But then I went to not Casey's. I went to McDonald's and got my normal coffee right there. They don't even.
That's some high octane coffee.
we
It has to be.
We got to get Carson.
They
in here
started
to tell-
telling me, "Hey,
tell
we
the
s-
story.
Yeah, Carson, you got to come in here.
Come here.
You have to come in here. It's a requirement of your employment." Here, he can sit here.
Aren't you used
I
to
got to go get more decals.
Sit in the big boy chair.
kind of like hockey?
We're gonna go to
Changing
commercial while
lines
they're
on the
really.
fly.
Exactly.
We're going to change lines on the fly.
So Carson, apparently,
Hey, welcome.
Apparently, you did a little shopping last night. We hear it in
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids.
Yes, went to the big city.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So, what'd you find out when you were buying things?
I found out that the Wal-Mart on the southwest side of town has some good food options near it.
Yep.
But don't go to the, well, it's a state and it's also a steakhouse.
We're not
don't
talking
go to
about
that place.
food. Did you have to pee last night?
I
Did
did.
you have to go to the potty?
So I'm sitting there and going.
I'm sitting
Are
there.
you sitting?
so-
Wait a minute.
We need. Are
Two
you
minutes.
sitting or standing? We need one or two.
I
One
know, I
or two.
know.
So
When a story sells out, I'm sitting in the bathroom at Walmart.
So you know it's gonna be
Actually,
good.
so I was sitting there, you know. And
So I tell Jim,
Did you need a stick?
I said, I have to go to the bathroom. So I walk over there, long walk. And
How long was this? Is this the build up? Long
so-
walk to the bathroom.
It was. So all of a sudden I'm like, that sounds weird. And I hear a guy in the stall.
We assume it's a guy.
I'm assuming. I didn't see him. And I
you
hear
understand
on there
that this guy is going to be like, you heard that they talked about me on the podcast.
I really thought when I first that this was going to go glory hole direction. I really did. I really did.
that's just your mustache talking.
Right.
Well,
Jeremy.
so
Anyway, you were dropping a deuce. What goes
I was not. And so
You sit to pee?
what? I give up, Jim. Never going anywhere with you again.
Oh, he was in the other stall.
They were holding hands under the partition. You okay over there?
All right,
Yeah.
so you hear the guy in the other stall.
So I hear
Did he
he's
grunt at all?
I can hear that he's screaming something.
He's streaming. We all do that in the men's room.
And I hear, this is being broadcast live on IMCA TV. And I'm like, he's watching IMCA TV on his cell phone, or I'm assuming his cell phone, in the
Unless
Walmart.
Jerry was in there with him. I don't know if call it a race.
He had a 36-inch Roku that he bought that it says, do not take merchandise into the bathroom. What else do you think he'd be watching it on?
That could be a new
A
gig
tablet.
for you, Jerry.
Tablet.
Computer.
So did you wait for the guy to finish?
No, I got the heck out of there and I
Are
walk
you
up to
scared
Jim.
of him or something, or what?
It's Walmart. I didn't really want to see what came out of that stall.
Maybe.
at least he's a race fan.
Maybe what it is, he might have been constipated and figured if he turned Jerry on,
The laxative effect.
this shit would come out.
Exactly. Well, he usually
Like it does
does
out of Jerry's mouth.
every day.
Oh boy.
So you guys have fans all over the place.
Yeah.
We got fans in high places. Walmart bathrooms.
Oh.
Well,
What did you buy at the Walmart, though? That's the biggest.
Well, you can buy stuff getting ready for Super Nationals.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you get some
Super Nationals.
toothpaste and a toothbrush?
Nope.
Some
once
deodorant?
again,
No, we
Carson's
got,
first Super Nationals.
Yeah. We got some
Aw.
markers.
I think we're all fired now.
In advance to Carson for his first Super Nationals experience.
Apologize.
Yeah. You don't know.
You're still smiling, Carson.
Yeah,
might
it's
have-
not Saturday
we
night.
need Carson on our first podcast after Super Nationals.
We can do that.
That would be.
Hopefully he's still
Yeah,
here.
if he's still, yeah. If he's,
If he's alive, he survives. I mean, like the decal says.
That's right.
I survived.
Give me a decal.
It doesn't just apply to the racers.
Come here, Carson.
Nice.
You guys have fun.
not nearly as much fun as you had at Walmart last night.
That's a great story, though.
Shut the door. I'm trying to watch the replay.
I'm listening to Jerry. Don't
Yeah.
flush.
Somebody go get me a pencil. I'm having a hard time getting this out.
How many people have and then hear Jerry's voice?
How many people do they get weekly at Boone?
Wow.
That will answer that question.
More than 2, less than 1 million.
Oh, that's the best.
I think we're probably done, aren't we? We can't top that story.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the non-COVID-19 here.
We've talked about cutting decals and bathrooms at Walmart.
Yes.
Silence.
What's
Yeah.
next on the agenda?
There's another agenda.
I don't know. I
There's
don't
an
know anything.
agenda.
I told you guys were in charge of this.
Bathrooms at Walmart, check.
Yep.
I survived. Check.
Check.
Brett wound up tight.
I'm
Check,
not-
check, check.
Yeah, a little anxiety.
You get that way this time of year, though.
Well,
you
yeah.
get tense and you start bouncing around. You get a lot of nervous energy. Not that that's bad. We all get it, I think.
You know
Boone
this. I mean,
approaches.
I've always said this race. I mean, it comes the same time every year.
Not necessarily, Jerry.
It does,
It
but
does, but-
things like anything, it's like working on building a home or remodeling your house.
You
or
get to
just
that last minute thing, and
any
it's like,
project you have, there's things that get you throw off. There's so many moving parts of this event. There's so many things we're trying to put together inside the office.
And we do that in
outside the
combination
office.
with everything else we're dealing with during
Right.
the regular season. So we're
Right.
more than Super Nationals, so it's
Right. Yeah.
just
super,
a busy time of year.
I'm super thankful again for all the staff we have. All the stuff that our staff does
their names are listed
here for
on
the
sheet.
event. They are. Most of us are going to be there. I don't think Bill's coming this year. Yeah. I mean, we all have the day-to-day operations of IMCA, outside of the Super Nationals and even outside of our preparations for the Super Nationals, and so it's a lot of work. It creates a pretty big workload for all of us, and we're a pretty small group, so
Stand next to this dude for 8
It's
days
not-
if you want to know what work is.
it's nice to
Oh my God.
it's nice to have staff that knows what they're doing, and I can't thank Carson enough for jumping in and we've had a couple of staff members here just recently. Even Tami is who answers the phone for us, has been here with us as part of our group or our family for 10 years now. Tammy's going to move on here in a couple of weeks, and she's going to go out into the realty industry, which
Tomorrow's leaving.
yeah, which is
works
near
in
and
real
dear
estate
to her
anyway.
heart, So you have these curveballs as a business, and I mean, we all care about each other. We're all a pretty tight group. We all work pretty hard. We're
That's one of
like
my
most people. You're almost around your employees or fellow coworkers, employees more than you are your kids at times.
Oh my God! When was the last day that me and you didn't talk?
I don't know.
10 years.
Yeah, my phone rings and my Ken would be like, "Is it Jim again?" But
Part of the gig.
it is. It's part of it. It's kind of what we signed up
That's
for.
going to be
and
exciting for Tammy. She'll be part of the $1 million listing Vinton edition.
yeah,
well, she's
gonna have a
she's done
TV
part-time
show.
work in real estate for years.
We should
anyways.
get her in here. She have a TV show. Yeah, $1 million
Call her in here,
listings
Ryan.
in
Tell her
Vinton,
we're not
Iowa.
doing nothing. See if we can get her in here before she leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, she's probably at the post office.
She's probably out running the errands and
I'll
the stuff
text
she
her.
does for us daily. So, but yeah, I mean, there's things you can control, things you can't control, but just all the preparations that we go through for the event, and then when we get there, all the stuff that we try to, all the pieces of the puzzle we try to put together.
Try to make
it's
it look like we know what we're doing.
It's a big moving ship, and it doesn't turn much. It just kind of chugs along, and we steer it in the right direction, and
It's
hope
like a train.
and hope it doesn't hit an iceberg. So
Titanic.
yeah. But we're all doing things that I want to cut stickers for this morning. Did I have this plan to do? No, I didn't. But by the way, Capital Graphics, Capital Signs,
Capital sign.
Lee Havlick makes this stuff for us. He does a ton of our Super National stuff, from the winner's checks that we do for everybody to the.
Oh, I got to pick them up too.
He does a lot
Champagne
of our
bottle decals.
champagne bottle decals.
Some other stickers that you can buy.
The Heat Race winner decals, the
Yep.
KC's Heat Race winner decals. He does all that stuff for us. I appreciate you picking that up for us. It saves me a trip. We're going to get this stuff thrown together after the podcast. We put everything, and we've got our contingency trailer and everything ready to go. So we're about 10 days out. Now's when we start making trips to Boone. It takes about 4 hours for us to get over there and back. So I'll have days where I go sometimes 2, and I have had days where I go 3 times in a day over to Boone, taking trailers over and stuff like that. So we got to take all of our equipment over there. A lot of people think, either I live in Boone or IMCA's in Boone, or
Yeah, I get that all the time.
we're really not that close. We're close, but we're not. We're
It's getting closer with the 4-lane being
the
almost
4-lane on
completed.
Highway 30, in Iowa, for those that know Iowa.
Jerry,
Well, that's all
technically,
done.
by
That's gonna
putting
be-
4-lane in, it doesn't
Yeah.
make it any closer. It might take less time to get there, but the distance still
It
stays the same.
takes at least half hour less now than what it took just a handful of years ago with the 4-lane
pointing out
Highway
the
30.
obvious.
It definitely helps.
But Boone is straight west of us on Highway 30, and we can almost go from our office to the Boone Speedway on nothing but 4-lane, which is really nice. It will be eventually almost all 4-lane.
Producer Nate's going to be doing that today, right?
We just have, Nate's running over there
13
today.
miles will be non-4
Yeah,
lane.
2 lanes
13
south,
is-
218 south out of Vinton to 30. Once we hit 30, we're 4-lane all the way to Boone. So we hammer down. You know, I watch Game of Thrones and all kinds of whatever I'm watching. You know, I put my iPad. I probably shouldn't tell you this. I don't know if you get in trouble. They say you can't text and drive, but I
You ever watch IMCA TV replays in a Walmart bathroom?
No, I don't.
Never.
I never sit down in a Walmart bathroom, to be quite honest.
You hover.
I know. Nate's heading over to Boone with Chris first thing this morning, so about 3.
3 this afternoon when
Yeah.
Chris wakes up.
Yeah, all of our staff is starting to, the people from out of state. You know, Jim comes over from Omaha. He's been coming over once a week here, and Carson comes down from St. Cloud, which is like a 5.5 hour drive. So these guys are coming down here and helping us put stuff together for a couple days each week, and then going back home. So
Dave will come from Western Kansas. I think he left around the 4th of July holiday to head over this.
Yeah,
No,
he's still
he
driving.
he left.
He's still
He left the same time that he left here to come back.
still on his.
He went home and turned around.
Yeah, he just
Changed the
just
clothes from
gotta
last
go.
year.
Had to go do laundry.
Well, no, he had to go get his 4-wheelers ready.
A lot of times he does laundry in town.
Oh, yeah, he does.
But we're all busy, especially if we have kids. Like I said, Kennedy started her first day of 6th grade today, and Jim's daughter started her first day of she's a senior,
Senior
right?
in high school.
Senior in high school, like last Friday or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
We don't get to take pictures of her out on the porch before her first day of her
they
senior year.
kind of grow out of that a little
Yeah,
bit.
their freshman year, I think that's still not.
How
It's
old's
weird
Bella?
because
She's a freshman this
She's a
year.
freshman.
Yeah.
as your kids grow older, and Kennedy's in the middle of that, as they grow older, it goes from on the first day of school, we pick what they do. You dress them up and bows in their hair and make little signs and do all this really cute stuff. And then as they get older, they start picking what they're going to do.
wanting.
And we got that a little taste of that this morning with Kennedy. She didn't want to sign.
It's only going to get worse.
And Jim's daughter apparently has already started to dictate what Jim's going to do outside of high school with her, which I thought was fascinating. You might not say it, but it's a good story too.
Oh, she's applied for one school. She only wants to go to one college. It's Arizona State. So, me and my wife told her it's about $50,000 a year,
It's not cheap.
and she says, "Well, that's your problem. That's what
Oh, wow.
that's what you signed up for when you had me."
Oh, wow.
Wow, that apple didn't fall too far
No
from the
kidding.
tree.
So, needless to say, she won't be going to Arizona State.
Yeah.
Nah, she'll probably go.
She'll get her way.
She'll get her way.
But again, we all go through these things, and we're all here. We're all here working, doing our part as our employment for the Super Nationals, and then you have all the participants and all the people come, and they do this as part of their vacation. They do this for fun, So
So we're vacation planners in a sense.
kinda to a certain extent, but
Tour directors.
it's why we work so hard to try to at the event to try to make it enjoyable for people to come. And there are circumstances where people don't have fun, stuff that happens on the racetrack, stuff that happens in the pits, just just all kinds of things that can spoil somebody's day, And so we try to do our best, at least when it comes to the organization of it all, to be positive about it, make really good decisions, organize it well.
Try to
and
make
so
it as
people
fun
can
as
come.
possible.
And we take all that extra stress that those situations can create for people coming to an event like this. We try to take that out of the equation as best we possibly can. And then, if people have a bad time at Boone, is it our fault most of the time? Somebody else's fault? Not necessarily. Sometimes it might be. Stuff that happens on the racetrack that we can't control. We can't drive the race cars and stuff like that.
We can't drive the golf carts.
We can't drive their golf carts. We
can't control the
things
weather.
like that.
We can't control the weather.
And despite the
control the
bad
weather.
moments you have, you always make good memories every year you go over there. It's
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good
It's
time
one of the
regardless.
reasons why
It
people
is.
come back
is.
to it,
Correct.
whether it be a fan or somebody wants to camp at the facility the whole week, or just a racer that comes long distances. It's expensive. It's very expensive to travel, to pull a race car very far. I have the moments. I think the farthest I ever pulled my race car was like Davenport from here. That's about 2 hours, and I raced Boone once.
Did you leave the car down there?
Did you wreck it in Davenport?
I didn't wreck it in Davenport. I did finish
On the
I think
quarter
I
mile or
finished
the half mile?
a quarter mile. I raced East Moline. Sorry, I say Davenport. But I raced in another state once.
Oh, he's a big
You
traveler.
toured across the river.
And I actually finished. I think that year I finished. It was either third or fourth. And I don't know if it was the Reinhardt Memorial or what it was when I was over there. Fort was a memorial race for somebody in the Quad Cities, and I finished third. And I thought I just was so happy to do that well. And I pulled my car that far, and it rained out. We went down there and qualified, and it rained out the next night. So we had to all come home, and then they rescheduled it for a few weeks later, if I remember correctly. It was in the late 90s, and I drove all the way back down there again just for the feature and finished third. So I felt like a big relief because I made enough money to pay for my gas and that kind of stuff, But so I think it's important for racers to know we all understand these kinds of things. It's not like we don't think about it, when we're planning purses, when we're planning all of those things, we are not immune. And we surely don't think that it isn't expensive for people to attend the Super Nationals, because it is. And we have racers all the time. They'll say, I want to come to Boone, but I just can't afford it, or I can't do it. I can't get off work. My kids are in school, my kids are in sports, all those kinds of things start popping up. So the fact that we can maintain a somewhat consistent car count consistently across the divisions and maintain their levels that they've been at for years is pretty important to us, and is also amazing that it happens like that.
Speaking of that, Ryan, current pre-registers, if we hit, we're at about 3,000 right now.
Yeah, Mr. 3000.
Don't.
Actually, we were 781 when we started the podcast. Now we're up to 783.
So
Hey, thank you. Who are the two that?
Blake Peeler,
Hey, congratulations, Blake.
292.
Where's he from? Is he from Missouri?
Trimble, Missouri.
Trimble, Missouri.
He's in front of the U.S. Probably going to pit in Buller Alley out there.
Out on the south, what was formerly the cell tower area.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
still is the cell tower.
It is. Yeah,
right?
there's still a cell tower there.
Now
It's still there.
John Buller.
Hobby stock Matt Wall. Isn't he from Iowa?
WAHL?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from West Des Moines.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Long toe.
So those were the two that have just recently registered.
And we've talked about that too. You've wrote some of this stuff for people who don't read our columns or don't read some of the stuff we put on Facebook. We've talked about some of this stuff on entries. Internally, we've talked about some of the stuff on entries and where the entry fees are coming in from. In the long distances, the people have to plan. Seem to be have planned ahead. They're the ones that are saying, "Okay, I'm making the commitment." Some of them are planning a little late, but most of them haven't. It's all the ones that are in the immediate area that, I think they make that decision last minute. If I owned a race car here in Vinton, oh wait, I do. I have a stock car out here.
Yeah.
It's got four flat tires.
You gonna race it?
No engine in it. No.
Just the All-Star race.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
we're gonna have a. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there.
But a lot of those guys, like you said.
Hey, you can have a grudge match.
No, we're going to have an officials race where Brett can automatically get in the All-Star race. I just have to win the officials race. And I know if I raced you three guys, I damn sure would win.
We just sit
We don't
back
have-
and wait for the
There
field
would
to
be
come
no
to
doubt.
us. You'd screw something up.
We don't have cars.
Y'all better have
see-
somebody throwing.
I think we could beat him in a foot race. And
Yeah,
him in a race car.
I could borrow somebody's car and then
you
just
could beat me
junk
in a
you.
foot race? What'd you say?
With you in a race car and me on foot, I think I'd beat you because you'd go flying off a 1 and 2, or you'd end up in a
no.
catwalk.
I might
or
run you over.
Gotta catch me first, boy.
Might run it. Well, there's no really big. There's
You'd
no
be
like.
easy to
There's
spot
no
with
wall
that.
and wall
You'd be
and.
easy to spot with that mustache.
In the bullet.
Pardon me, I must ask you a question. You get free rides.
Go to hell, Jerry. Anyway, I think I've had one California driver that registered in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Otherwise, the guys that are coming long distances committed. The guys locally, like you said, they look at the weather. They look to see, what's
Well,
going
that's-
on. I've got a lot of racing to do here yet. I want to make sure that I'm going to have a car. or
Schedules, the local,
schedule.
the local track schedules in their area dictate some of that stuff too. When season championships are, like Vinton wrapped up here in town last weekend, and Independence was supposed to, but they got rained out. They're going to run this weekend, so you start seeing those things happen. But we a lot of the weekly tracks used to race a little later. It seems to me like they've pushed them a little bit further forward, and whether or not that's to blame for the Super Nationals or whether or not that's to blame for issues like going back to school.
I think it's going back to school, family vacations. I think that was kind of, I don't know.
Less is
That was
more
a
sometimes.
factor,
It's always
many
been an
years
issue
before.
again, like in Texas. Again, I bring this up because I deal with it, and I don't know if I've talked about this
Tammy.
before. Sometimes we talk in circles. Tammy's here,
Tammy just walked in.
so
We're not doing a podcast.
football in Texas on Friday nights. It gets pretty serious.
You might as well.
anywhere.
You might as well just close everything down
and
for Friday night high school
anywhere.
football.
I'm like, I told my wife, we have football up. We have football up here too.
Here, 1 second. Did you get the mail? Oh, come here, 1 second. Here, could you hold these 1 second?
Can you sit in that chair for a second?
We were talking about you, and we're like, oh, we're gonna
Tomorrow, why are you leaving?
Was that public knowledge?
Sit down, Tammy.
Well, I mean, it might not
It
have
is
been public
now.
knowledge, but it is now.
We have 8 listeners. They won't tell anybody.
Public knowledge for all but one.
So
Oh,
This is Tammy. For those who call the office and have to pay a fine,
Pull up
or
a chair.
pull up a chair. sit
something
down.
nasty
I can't stay long.
that we do to people as a sanction. Tammy's the one that answers the phone. She's our firewall
She
here.
directs
She's-
our traffic
She
very
directs our
well.
traffic. So
if they can't talk to you, I'm the reason.
correct. she's been very good at trying to keep me on task because it's very easy for me to get, as you guys well know, just be sitting in a podcast. I'm like a squirrel.
That's why we need to go through by a staff.
Yeah.
We need to come together to
But
come
Tammy's-
up with her replacement.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be hard to do that, but
It won't
Tammy's
be me.
Tammy's going to be with us at the Super Nationals, and after the Super Nationals, she's going to retire from the sanctioning body business and move into realty full time, which is, we've talked about it a little bit personally. So we're happy. I'm happy for her. We're happy for her. It's what she wants to do. So
Tammy's
it's
leaving.
what she
in-
was doing before she started working.
Tammy's
for us.
leaving, and
She's my work wife.
Tamara's coming out.
That's my work wife. I guess
Tamara.
That's what Jerry
be
calls her.
Tamara.
Is
That's
That's what I
Tamara.
call her. That's what
I've never-
that's the deal. It's like
never called
Tammy's
her
here
that.
and Tamara's somewhere else.
Well, we were talking about you, Tammy, and we were saying nice things, though.
Oh, I
so.
hope so. But I
So-
do appreciate everything, and I've loved the racing family and the racing community.
So everybody still gets to see at the window. You could open the window and give them their credentials.
You're going
And
to be there all
Yep.
8 days too.
All 8 days.
Yep,
Saturday
we're-
to Saturday.
Yep, she decided she's going to come a couple days early this year since it's her last year.
She wants to see the prelude. She wants to see the prom. She wants
Yeah.
to see.
ooh,
everything.
are you going to the prom?
I might have a date. I'm not sure. Not sure.
Really?
No, I already promised Jerry I'd be his plus one.
Oh, well.
Ryan even bought
Can you
an
be my
outfit.
can you be my
Jerry's got
plus
one
one?
coming
I can
too.
be your
She could be she could be our plus one.
We could be a thruple.
Thruple.
Thruple. Good
you wear?
Lord, the stuff. you guys
Oh,
say.
well, it's more like, what am I not wearing?
All right, I'm gonna
What's
bring
tomorrow
Jim back.
wearing?
You gonna bring Jim
I'm
back?
gonna bring Jim back.
No, just stay here. You don't even have to talk.
Don't
Just
have to
sit in the
sit there.
chair.
Kind of,
Just
it's
sit
kind
in
of
the
more
chair.
fun with you.
You fill the void a lot better than Jim does.
It's this.
No, we need him to. He needs
No,
to do it.
this is keeping
This-
him
yeah.
off
This
task
is what
on.
Nervous
I'm
energy.
gonna miss is Tammy trying to keep me like, Brett, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna do this for you, or I'm gonna make sure this gets done. By
We need to
somebody
hire
else.
her replacement by committee because they have big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, but
do.
again, she's been a part of the equation for us here at IMCA. It doesn't matter if it's Tammy, you, Ryan, or Jim, or Carson, or the team we've got here. Jody, Dan, Bill, everybody, Dave.
Everybody's
I know I
got
forget
their.
Virginia Lindsay and the points. I mean, I know I always forget somebody when I start trying to list
Terry.
names. But
Terry does points.
it's a very small group, but we all pitch
but
in
mighty.
and do like Tammy just tried to do. Brett, you don't need to be doing that. I'm gonna go get this done for you.
There's actually a machine in the other room that if you program it right, would just go.
No, it
It'll be
won't. They're too like this. If it was a sheet, maybe, but this works.
We'd
fine.
rather
this
him
is probably
release
faster.
his
What I'm,
energy
Yeah,
this
we'd
way.
rather let
We don't
him-
care if it
what I'm
takes a little
worried
extra
about
time.
is
I'm worried about you cutting the
cutting
web
my
in your
stuff.
finger
Have you ever
right
done
there.
that?
Losing a finger.
I've done that.
No, I've never cut the. I did
it
here
sucks.
in between the
I have
thumb.
done that, and I'm hoping not to do it. Which is why I'm looking down all the time because I'm not going to pretend my finger's not there when it might be. But anyhow, so moving on.
Fascinating.
Super Nationals again. One thing on the Super Nationals that's a little bit different from last year are our sign-ins for our promoters and our sign-ins for our sponsors that are coming at the Prelude on Saturday and Sunday. Tammy has usually got there on Monday morning, and we opened then because that's when Super Nationals has technically started. So we pushed everything forward. We've added the Prelude. We've added the mod lights. We raced 2 days, so Tammy's now going to come over on Saturday. So she'll be doing our credentials on Saturday for our sponsors, manufacturers, row participants. We have 30 of them this year. Again, it's full.
And check your email because it'll tell you when you can come and
Yep.
when you cannot come.
Yep, we do an electronic sign-in for all of our promoters, and the racers don't know these things because they do the normal sign-in, but we do an electric sign-in, at least for our special guests, our VIP sponsors that have customers like Napa and Casey's and even Speedway. They do an electronic sign-in that's a little bit more efficient, but it's easier for us to monitor because there's not the volume of theirs with racers.
Slick
But,
process.
yeah. We've talked about doing it all electronically and going to some sort of an electronic pit pass, and we may get there maybe next year, as soon as next year, because we're talking about a lot. But for now, we do the old school way. It's Boone Speedway way. And they do an excellent job, and but things are getting, we're getting close.
Speaking of big races, Roger made an announcement the other day at regarding the Race Saver Nationals. Brett, maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's had that. They from the onset. I think what do we say? 10-ish years at the Race Saver Nationals. Roger has had the condition, and he's been a full believer in a condition like a participation condition. And we get this question a lot: why do you let somebody that doesn't race IMCA at all year come to the Super Nationals and compete? It's a very, very good question. It's one that you can justify somewhat both ways. That's not an IMCA racer. Why should he be winning IMCA's biggest race? Well, very valid way to look at it. But at the same time, with 200 plus modifieds and 200 stock cars now and some of that stuff, a guy coming in who's never raced an IMCA lap, winning the IMCA Super Nationals is a pretty big accomplishment. And at the end of the day, very hard to do.
I think the last person who did it was Carl Fredrickson.
Now, damn it, Jim, why do you got to keep going there for?
In a car that no longer exists, thanks to Brett.
There was only
Everything comes full circle
I-
every
no,
week. That's why I
Everything
love
comes
this
back
podcast.
full circle
It's
to
just-
your destroying the first ever sport mod.
everything. It's like he's an attorney. Everything you say can and will be used
in
against
Jim's
you.
defense, you did give him a list earlier of things he could not bring up today. That was not on the list.
Yeah,
That's always
I mean,
fair
yeah.
game. That's
Can we
always
go over
fair
the
game.
things that are on the list?
Yeah, come on.
Let's get back
Brett's
to
sensitive topics. Please don't talk about it, or he's going to cut his finger.
why don't we,
No, I mean
we get back to the
there was only
Race
like
Saver.
50 some. There was only like 50 some sport mods at the first sport mod race, so a little easier to win.
What kind of motor was in that car?
I think I'm pretty sure it had a crate in
Yeah.
it, 602. It was legal too. At least that's what
You didn't cheat it.
Mullins told me it was legal.
Didn't cheat it up or anything.
I got it straight from Chad. He's like, dude, you want a motor? I'm like, yeah, I'm making racing great again. Send me one of them cheated crates. Shit.
Tell me about it.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh yeah.
So anyhow, no,
Making racing great.
it's hard. It's hard for a person to come in
One
that
$40,000 modified dollar motor at a time.
hasn't turned. It's hard for somebody that hasn't turned a lap in IMCA racing to win the Super Nationals, and if they can, so be it. What we have always worried about is the race car itself. Is the car legal? That's what matters at the end of the day. And I say this at the drivers' meeting, the ones that I talk a lot at. We want to let the racers settle it on the track. With who?
Hey, you've done that on a podcast, so don't.
Back to Eagle, the Race Saver National.
Yeah, that's what we were
That's what
talking
he's
about.
talking about. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Hey, listen to the shit I'm saying. He just wants to make fun of me.
I don't know if you know this or not, but he's telling a story like I do. It's a long way around.
All my
This
stories.
is a whole lot of words, and he doesn't need to.
He likes to hear himself talk.
We're on a half-mile track here.
No, we're going to do one of them big D-shaped 5/8s.
The condition that people have asked us to put into the Super Nationals that you have to have participated in a certain amount of races, we have never done. And Roger has done that with the Race Saver deal. And
You
both
had to be like in 3 race saver. You have to compete in
minimum
3 race saver events.
it's to show a little commitment, and it does make sense. But at the end of the day, if a guy buys a race car, and let's say now a guy's getting out of racing because his kids are in school going to ASU, and they can't afford a race car no more, they have to sell the race car so the daughter can go to ASU. And he sells it to another guy that says, "Hey, I'm racing such and such, and I want to get into Race Saver. I've got it now." He may not meet that condition. So there's a lot of things that kind of.
And there was a lot of
It's not all
weird
bad
stuff
for
that
those.
happened this year too.
Yeah, I mean, you got
and that's the deal. They
rainouts.
rainouts, tire issues, parts issues, everything that could make a person not be able to do it. And it is what it is. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it is what it is.
So I slept through the first 20 minutes of this story.
The
Brett.
racer
What was
has
it?
to
What did,
stop- the
what did he
racer
have?
So what here? So long and short of it, you had to previously in Race Saver Super Nationals
Race
in the
3,
past
made the race.
race 3 races. Well, because of circumstances, because apparently they want to, if you read the social media, they want to let certain drivers in because that's what they want. They want more cars. They want this. No, they just
Want to make it fair.
Yeah. Right.
And I think, Brett, you ran the numbers. It was a pretty good percentage of numbers that were
Yeah,
affected
you
this
get
year.
you get into numbers games. You get into the raw stats, and Ryan's really good at this stuff. But we pull up just the raw stats on how many of our competitors can meet that, and so it's a percentage that can't. And you ask yourself, okay, do you want to eliminate right off the top by the restrictions of your event the participants? I mean, this is a condition that just wipes out a percentage of your membership. And we've always been against that at IMCA with Super Nationals. You know, if a guy buys a license and has got a legal car and is eligible to buy the license, you know, he doesn't violate any of some of the membership stuff, which I do think has also merit for having those conditions at times and not. We can argue this stuff all kinds of different ways. So, but somebody has to make the decision. And Roger reached out to us and thought, what do you guys think? And I told him from day one, why have it? You know, and so he's like, well, I think this year we'll pull it back. And they pulled it back for COVID a couple years ago, at least a couple. So some of the restrictions.
Oh, so this isn't something that's just happened once. It happened before?
He's done it before. But he did it one way, and then because of COVID, he pulled it back. And then I think he was going to go back, and this was the year he's going to go back.
Because it was because of COVID, it was okay in everybody's eyes.
I guess. I mean, a lot of things were okay in the eyes of everybody because of COVID.
Non-COVID-19.
Yeah.
But you think about it, I mean, you look at it, I mean, look at how many other major events, you know, in racing that had to be canceled because there were no parts, tires, this and that.
Right.
I mean, you have to
the sprint car world took a little bit bigger hit. Right?
They did. You know, there was a lot of sprint car stuff that got canceled this year, but you know, you have to.
And I mean,
you have to call an audible sometimes.
Correct.
And make a change what's best for the event.
And I don't think, I mean, on Facebook, obviously, any social media platform is where people offer their opinions. But I think that if you look at this, you know, from all different angles, it makes sense. Yeah. But it can be argued either way.
And you know what?
So somebody has to make a decision. We made the decision. We're moving on. You know what I mean?
The great thing about opinions, they're like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Correct.
Even that guy watching replays at the Walmart.
Carson learned that. Correct.
But, you know,
but that's,
everyone's got one, but I want nothing to do with either one of yours.
You read the shit on Facebook about what Roger did. And, you know, the car count's so down. No, these I believe, right about 100 sprint cars pre-registered.
Yeah,
pretty damn good. And then, you know, we can either confirm or deny the other Facebook rumor about a certain driver trying to come. That's why Roger had to waive that rule.
We can deny that. I mean, we don't even know who I don't even know personally who his list is. I don't think he actually gives it to us just yet.
Well, I mean, if you read Facebook and once again,
Carl Fredrickson's going.
Carl Fredrickson's going to race.
You want a sprint car?
I'm telling you.
we can't confirm or deny.
I could race that event. There's no reason why I couldn't race the Race Saver event.
That's right. That's why we had to change that rule.
I don't write those rules.
That's right.
I have nothing to do with it. I just sell licenses to the racers and help them with points. So I should be able to compete at the Race Saver Nationals.
Who cares?
And who wouldn't want to see you in a sprint car?
Who cares if you write the rules? Why should that stop somebody from racing?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go down your road you want to go down, Jim.
What road's that?
I know what road you want to go down.
Where's that road taking us?
This road
we're on Highway 20, aren't we? Are we on Highway 20?
Got to Highway 17 pretty quick.
that road, you know what that road could take you to?
Nowhere.
Honestly, that road could take you to 52 cars at Boone Speedway is what that road could take you to.
That's right.
Because I'm there racing a stock car against other competitors. What the hell would I be racing against other competitors for? At some point in time, you got to kind of say, okay, what am I going to do here with my life? I made that decision, but I still bought a stock car, and I still want to race it. But instead, I think I'll have my future son-in-law race it. Or
he wants to race?
He has, yeah.
Has he raced before?
No, but you could he's very mechanically inclined. He's an electrician, but he's also very mechanically inclined, and he watches this.
My brother is mechanically inclined, and he races. He's got a stock car for sale right now. It's a little dinged up in the front, the back, and the left.
You could put a who's who in your stock car. You could have all sorts of people.
Yeah. I bought it honestly. I bought it for one reason. Well, two reasons. One was
parade car,
just something to promote auto racing. You know, I mean, I just thought it'd be a good thing to do locally, and even maybe not locally. But a two-seater, and I talked about cutting one of the bars that's in the way. It can be done.
I've ridden it.
We could announce a race while we're on the race.
When I first saw that car, I thought it was the first IMCA stock car ever built.
It looks. I mean, in defense of.
It's not new, but it's never been raced, has it?
No, it's brand new, but it's never been raced. But it's like 15, 16 years old.
That's like the car that Kevin Opheim races every year.
Exactly. It looks like
Kevin's car's never been raced either.
You're right.
to a hobby stock racer and a stock car racer that maybe he's been racing for a little while. That car looks almost like it could be somewhat have a hobby stock because it's got original firewalls in it, original floor plan, that kind of stuff. floor plan.
Floor plan is what
I
car
know what it
dealers
is.
use to finance cars.
Yeah, well, that's what
I thought it was
people
like
use to
apartments
build
and
houses,
houses.
isn't it?
A floor plan.
Well, that could be. Yeah, there's a floor plan
I've
there
never
too.
heard that.
No.
They actually have maps for that?
No, what a floor plan is when you get when a car dealer has to buy, you get a truckload of cars in
Yep.
your new car
Jim, wake me
inventory.
Yeah.
You actually map out where they go?
Yeah, GMA. No, it's a floor. They call it a floor plan. So GMAC or whoever finances those cars on what they call a floor plan.
You done, Dave?
Get Tammy back in here. Jeez.
This is kind of interesting.
No, so that's what they call it is a floor plan. So they
So is it for financing or where
for,
the car
for
actually
financing
sits
the
in
car
parking
for
lot?
the dealership.
I'd sooner believe
I
that if
think
it
it-
was
I
somebody
think-
in the automotive industry
I
who worked
thi-
in that field that would tell me that. You don't work in that field, do you, Jerry?
Not anymore, but I did for 27 years.
Yeah, how many dealerships you work for?
It doesn't matter.
27.
All of them.
It does because it's funny.
More than two, less than a million.
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't a job jumper, were you?
No, not much.
Oh, wait, we had silence there for a
I
second.
had to think about
I'd
it.
think about it. Let's see. No, there was a couple places I left and went somewhere else.
Did you leave them or did they leave you?
Oh, the combination.
Have you ever been fired from a job? Have you ever been fired
No.
from a job?
Wait,
you ever been
I'm
fired?
waiting.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Jerry's you ever been fired, Jim?
No, I haven't.
I've never been fired. Maybe that's why we're so messed in the head. We've never been
Maybe
fired.
you should be.
You're going to start now, Brett? I mean,
No, he'll wait till
I can't-
September 13th.
if you fire us now, Jim and I are going to go hang out in Boone and just watch the shit show unfold.
Shoot.
Getting back to
Us.
Eagle. So we can't confirm or deny the Facebook rumor why Roger did this, that a certain driver who drives
Just say
sprint
names.
cars,
Who are we talking about?
Kyle Larson,
Oh,
He's coming to the Race Saver Nationals?
we can't confirm or deny that.
We can't?
we don't know.
But the rule,
I couldn't confirm or deny Kyle Larson coming to race a late model on a Wednesday in May either.
the
So
rule did change, so you guys can put two and two together.
Can I ask a question?
go ahead, caller.
Who's Kyle Larson?
Young Money.
He's a sprint car driver.
Oh, that Kyle Larson.
That Kyle
I was
Larson.
thinking a different.
He's a rapper. He's a country guy.
Well, we have Larsons in IMCA. Come on. Are we
He's a
talking
rapper.
about? Are we talking about Jeffrey Larson? Are we talking
Dustin
about
Larson.
Dustin Larson? Are we,
They're brothers.
no,
there was-
no,
yeah.
those are the tough Larsons.
Yeah, those are the Larsons you don't want to mess with.
Hell no.
Kyle, I'll take my chances with Jeffrey and his brother. Not so much.
I mean,
Their mom is just as tough too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've told the story on the podcast. Maybe I have. I don't think so. About Larson's on the stage at the Super Nationals.
Oh, that was
year.
the best.
Oh my goodness! I thought there was going to be a knockdown drag out with a family.
That
You
was
weren't
the
on
best.
the stage with him.
No,
was
I
on the-
heard-
I was
I-
on the stage with him, and I'm telling you,
That was your Dustin
there was
one.
whichever. I always get him
Dustin
confused.
won.
Dustin won.
I
and
recognize him.
And
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, but there,
Yeah.
Well, but the flat.
It was a
cut,
last-
Just didn't happen. There might have been contact.
but then the
He
old,
wanted-
but then the dad's ready to whoop on the other one because he took. I mean, it was
Oh,
it was a crazy
I remember
situation.
He wanted a
walking up
fist
to
fight.
Jim and asking if I could come. Jim, the dad.
Yeah, Jim Larson.
Yeah. Asking if I can come to Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah, he wanted a fist fight. He
He was going to whoop his own
straight
kid's
down.
ass.
They wanted to fight,
And
and
the
then
brothers wanted to fight.
Yeah.
yes, the brothers wanted. Well, one of them wanted to fight the other. The other one was very apologetic. But again, I can't
There was going to be a Larson ass whooping happening, and it was staying in the family.
It was not a joke that he was madder than a hornet up there, and he wanted to punch him. And then Mike Nichols was up there with him too, if I remember correctly.
But then there was who else?
And
Was up
something had happened, and he wanted. I get it. Jeffrey, I think, is the one.
Dustin won. Jeffrey.
Dustin won.
Yes, Jeffrey wanted to beat up everybody on the stage. And I thought, maybe I'll just get off this stage. I'm probably on this list too. He's gonna beat the crap out of me too, because I wouldn't want him.
List
fighting.
of people's asses
Nope.
to kick today.
Well,
Brett, Brett.
because I
Yeah.
think they were going to start right next to each other. And I remember before the race, I said something to them. They were standing there. I go, hey, what, you guys aren't going to have any issues. Oh, no, we race each other clean. I said, God damn.
Whoa!
I said, I was at Jackson 3 years ago when you left your brother in the middle of the pit because you got pissed at him.
Yeah.
Well, yes, sometimes we have issues.
Again,
Sure enough.
passion.
Oh
Like
my
we've
God.
talked about before. I mean, when racers don't care like that, you have much more problems.
I don't care if you're my brother, and
So we'll
I'm
take
going
those.
to.
We'll take those moments that are very raw and very authentic, and even between brothers, very passionate about what happened on a racetrack. We'll take those moments. I'll take those 1,000 times over a guy who don't give a shit about being.
That's right.
I remember the first time I went and flagged at Fairmont for Joe Ringsdorf. I come in there and somebody goes, "Hey, you need to watch out for that 6L car, Jim Larson. If he doesn't hit somebody in the track, he'll hit somebody in the pits." And I'm like, what? Sure enough, popped a guy in the heat race and beat a guy in the mouth after the feature. I was like, holy jeez, welcome to Minnesota.
You know, you really you talk about passion. I mean, that Larson family, they got passion, and you know, I know, you know, Jim's having some health issues right now, and really, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to Jim. I mean,
They do. They have.
Really,
he's in a tough situation.
It's
The
a
whole family's
great,
in a tough situation.
Family, you might not hear that a lot in the pits, but I truly look forward to seeing.
Yeah. And I think one night in Spencer, I could have swore that Mother Larson was in the Navy because she had some good sailor talk in the grandstands, and it was directed at Grant.
Well, probably well deserved in Grant's case.
Exactly.
It's funny you say Sailor Talks and you know, Mother Larson, you know, the Super Nationals, we've got the Super Prelude Prom Party hosted by Leah Roten, right?
Yeah.
And one of my most memorable moments with a female racer was with Leah at the Yankee Dirt Track Classic a handful of years ago, and she had I was involved in an officiating call that took the win away from her. She had won, well, she thought she won, but we thought that she had taken the winner out on the last lap, and I'm telling you, she cussed me out like a champ. I mean, it was like, wow.
Are you invited to the prom?
But again, you know, she still races IMCA. I still, you know, if she wants to have a party at Super Nationals, we're going to let her have a party at Super Nationals. We're going to help her have a party at Super Nationals. We're not going to hold those situations where she called me pretty much everything you could think of for the decision that I was involved in.
It's just there was a guy at Marshalltown and turned 4 during a heat race.
He's a passionate racer, just like the Larsons are.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Those are the people we like to have fill in our pit area at the Super Nationals, really, to be quite honest. Sometimes it can get hard managing all the fist fighting, but we really don't have it much there. People solve their problems themselves. We tell them at Super Nationals, too, you know, it's a bad place to fight because there's too many racers, too many people to be starting fights, and so we don't want our racers starting fights under one circumstance.
It's on the front stretch.
No, that'd be 2 circumstances.
Oh, okay.
One circumstance that I say at the drivers' meeting. There's only one circumstance in the Super National you can fight in the pit area, and that's if you catch somebody stealing your shit.
Yeah,
if you got somebody if you catch somebody stealing crap out of your hauler, just beat the crap out of them. You're doing a favor for everybody in the pit area doing that. And that reminds us of something we've talked about, because we talked about trying to tell people about this. You know,
but you know, something else we got to tell people. Even more important than having their shit stolen out of their truck. We got a party going on at Boone thanks to Todd Van Eaton.
We do. We're working on a pit party on a Sunday.
Oh, are we supposed to tell anybody yet?
No, I mean,
you brought it up.
You brought it. I mean, I know what's going on.
I bugged him. He bugged me a lot last year at the event, and I bugged him pretty much all year long. You know, if you want to do some of this, help us out. And Todd can help people out. He's done a lot for racing.
Oh yeah.
You know, he helped us with the King of the Catwalks at Boone. He's helped Stewart with some of their races. So he puts a lot of money in racing. Bald Tire Bash.
John Logue's first time winter race.
Yeah, so Todd's throwing tons of money into racing. He's a competitor too. So we love having people like that support on our side, you know what I mean? At the Super Nationals or you know, at any other time racing in our divisions. But Todd has put together, we're going to have a pit party. You guys.
I didn't do anything. I'm going to say that word you don't want us to say. I am so close to saying that word you don't want us to say.
Somebody's got to be the first one to say it.
Yeah, somebody has to say it eventually.
Say it.
No.
You know what it is.
No, I don't.
What word don't you want to say it on the podcast?
You're trying to get him to say it.
The granddaddy, the granddaddy
word. You know,
rhymes with duck.
You said we can't say it. You said we can't say it. That's what they said.
But I didn't say fudge.
I didn't say it.
I didn't say it, did I?
No. I said I was getting close to saying it when he was touching my mustache.
No, and nobody said it yet, but I was over here.
We were told we can't say it.
Yeah.
Oh, we really can't?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's it's like one of the words that my mother would just not be proud if I'm on a podcast in this business saying publicly. Even though we use it like sailors, we get called all kinds of crazy names.
Yeah.
I just know.
What if we put a word in front of it?
I say it a lot, though.
let's say we put mother in front of it.
Yeah.
Does that change it?
No, not really. It's
No,
still,
not
it's
really.
still, it just adds 2 letters to it, but it's still 4 that's the first 4 that
How
count.
about dumb?
I've been called that before.
Or how about what the?
It can be used in many different
Yes.
ways. Yeah, I don't think I
You
said
stupid.
that.
No, you
It
didn't.
wouldn't surprise me if I did, because again, I'm not very good at.
Cutting and
Well, you
talking
were
on it.
haven't got
listening
my
to
finger
us.
yet.
You were doing that. You were talking about Todd Van Eaton.
Yeah.
We should go back. to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, Todd put together a deal. We're going to give away free beer, free pulled pork sandwiches, and pork loin sandwiches.
That's Sunday night.
Sunday night. Yep. I think
prom
he's got
Saturday?
camp
Prom's
chef.
on Saturday.
So prom Saturday, party
Camp
Sunday.
chef. So
I think he's
you-
got camp chef
Yep.
coming in and smoking stuff. I think
BW
he's
Outdoors.
got Checkers and Wreckers, which I think is his bar. Or a bar
That's
he's
his bar.
attached to, helping out.
Well, hang
with
on,
it.
that's Tracy's bar, not hit. Todd doesn't own
Okay.
it. Tracy Van Eaton owns
Okay.
everything.
There you go. So he's got the bar. He's got the bar pulled back into the equation, helping out with some of the with some beer, some free beer, which I don't think is a crime as long as you're 21. And then
What could go wrong?
pulled loin. What could go wrong? Yeah, okay.
Pulled pork? What?
Last words.
Van Eaton pork obviously is involved. So I've been telling him, I was like, when you want to say something, he's like, well, I just want to make sure I don't want to disappoint anybody, because it is a lot of moving components and things like this even as well. So we just don't want to race till 2 a.m. That's going to be the thing. Last year, Super Nationals or Prelude, sorry, Sunday night we raced till 1:45 in the morning. That's when
So
we raced.
racers, if you're watching this and you're coming to race Sunday, the Prelude, keep it moving.
Which why we moved the sport compacts off of Sunday, the Prelude, and moving them to Saturday. If we can race late, we'd rather race late Saturday. Because Super Nationals technically for all the other classes starts on Monday. So it's hard on everybody, not just competitors, but all of our employees and everything at the event. So we moved the start times forward, ahead, however you want to say it,
Moved
earlier.
it from 4 to 5.
Yep.
Or from 5 to 4.
We moved our start times
Now you got everybody
a little sooner.
confused.
We moved a division over to the compacts.
People understand better when you just don't talk.
We hope
Jerry.
we freed up a little bit of time for us to. I think last year on Saturday night
Go
we
ahead,
had
say it, Jerry.
294 cars we had at the Prelude last year on Saturday night. We had 332 on Sunday. I know this because again we look at this stuff and we try to we look at the times we start and stop. We write everything down, the entire event, when we start hot lapping, when we stopped, when we started this heat race, when we stopped. We have Sarah who does a fantastic job.
How
in
long
the
does
tower.
it take to farm during the day
Writes
versus the
all
night?
this stuff down to the minute, and then we go back over it, and when we race late, we ask ourselves, what the hell happened? Why
Where
in the
could we
world
have
did we
saved a
race
minute?
so
Saved a
late?
minute, yeah.
And you get into some of the cautions and flipping, and some of it is driver introduction, some of it is we just
Jerry's driver's introduction.
farming, or we just jack around too much, and so we do our best to. But we also want the Super Nationals to continue to be a place where people can come and have fun outside of the racing. You come to race, everybody's serious about it, everybody wants to win, everybody wants to make the features, all that kind of stuff, have a good time. But outside of racing, they want to have a good time as well. So we want to encourage that. That's how you end up with 6 slushy machines and moonshine and all kinds of other stuff. And some people
Beauty
may not like that.
contests,
Some people may not
beauty
like that kind of
pageants,
stuff.
proms.
mullet contest before.
But
Yeah,
they don't
mullet.
have to participate. But again, we touched on it just a little bit ago, and Jim cut me off. I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say. We have some concern. We continue to have some concern about people stealing stuff out of your trailer and stuff. We're gonna.
I think a lot of that, though, on that stealing thing, though, if you look back at it, I don't know that it's because the one year that it was pretty hefty, there was a ton of thievery in the city of Boone itself.
There was one Super
And I think
Nationals
a lot of it.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of it is the people that know that event happens,
Right.
and it's the people that
But here's
that are thieves themselves. That's what they do.
mean, you even had a golf cart stolen one year.
Yeah.
Did you ever get that back, Jerry?
No,
we had a golf cart stolen at the event, came up missing. Again, through word of mouth, one thing led to another, and that golf cart was not that far from Boone Speedway, being painted about a week later, and we figured out who it was ours. And again, so that stuff does happen.
found a dirt bike. Found a pit bike for Jake Benishek.
Pit bikes, golf carts, things like that. Probably a little bit less
Signs.
conspicuous for people to steal. You can get on one and cruise around.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
know if you
Don't
own
know.
that. I don't know. He don't know. Any of the other people may not know.
'cause,
But if you got a generator on your shoulder and you're walking out of our pit area,
People are
our
gonna-
gate people are going to say, "Where are you going with that?" You know what?
I'm taking it to my
You know what I
camper.
mean? So a lot of our potential for these situations. It's going to be smaller items, stealing the guy's,
a jack, or wrenches, or a tire and wheel.
A tire and wheel. How are you going to know that was mine? That nobody writes down what their wheel sticker number was. You know what I mean? They just complain they have to buy them. But the reality is people can steal that
rich
stuff.
off them too.
Yeah, people can. Yeah, I'm going to go there. You threw me off, bastard.
Bastard's okay.
Yeah, bastard's okay.
I've approved that word. To be
A list of approved words.
Yeah, we'll write them on the screen.
But stealing is if people are stealing those kinds of components, generally speaking, they're going to be people that are in our pit area with us, participants with us. So we always just tell people, just make sure you pay attention to your stuff. Make sure when you're racing, you know your neighbors, get to know them. Part by people you pit by people you know.
You just watch out for each other.
And we see that again more and more every year. You get a pocket of Wisconsin guys now. They all want to be together. You got a pocket of Kansas guys. They all want to be together.
Or the chassis builders.
You got a pocket of Missouri guys over in Bowler's area. They want to be together because when one's racing, they want to watch them, but they aren't all going to. And they're going to take care of each other, And if they catch somebody stealing their crap, they are not going to get fined by me for beating the crap out of somebody that's stealing their stuff.
We know nothing. We know nothing.
Didn't see it.
Yeah. But that also, again, on the whole general subject, there's still laws in the country. We're still governed by things that people can and can't do outside of the Supernationals. You know what I mean? You can't stab somebody at the Supernationals and not get in trouble. You know what I mean?
I have seen a number of questions.
That's happened.
A number of questions on social media. I don't know if this
crazy.
is something you can address or not, but the new state quad policy, 4-wheelers and stuff. Do you know if that's being
for that week? The city will not let it happen.
They know better,
and they have that ability to do that.
Yeah,
I've seen
you can't.
Yeah, we did here in town.
Right.
And
We did it here in town.
When we had our weekend ride UTVs on the street in Vinton, you have to buy a tag, register it, and all that stuff, have insurance. We can ride them everywhere. During one of our city concerts that they had downtown, can't ride them.
Yeah. So during Supernationals, you cannot.
They don't want the risk of more people who are being drinking on those vehicles. So the police department said no, and the city notified everybody.
That it's going to be acceptable this year.
Just like you can buy fireworks in the town, but
Right.
it doesn't mean you can shoot them off.
Right.
Correct. But even if you could ride them in the city of Boone, I still think you'd have serious problems getting across Highway 30 because Highway 30 is not controlled by the city of Boone.
Right.
It's the state-controlled highway. The DOT makes the decisions on that. That's why people want to park along the ditch on Highway 30 on the north side of the pits. The DOT puts a stop to all that. They said, no, we don't want nobody parking so close to our roadways. But then they asked the Boone City.
Well, you can't. I mean, legally, you cannot park in the right of way.
Right.
What's nice is the DOT will allow us to put signs out.
They do. They might ask us to take them back down.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great idea, but you didn't call us about it, so pull the signs.
This is a story.
Oh, no, it is. I remember. I had to go out and help pull the signs.
There's a picture. No, they were one big one sign.
Yeah, they were posting pictures of me on Facebook and everything.
That was great.
We made signs for directing part. It wasn't anything better than
and the signs are there. They're great. They're nice looking signs and everything.
Professional signs.
We paid money for them, and the DOT said, "Hey, we appreciate you doing that, but we really don't. You can't do that legally. We have to help you mark these kinds of things." I'm like, okay, no problem. So the next year, I bought a bunch of in a Gov Deals auction. I bought a bunch of those construction signs. They were orange.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, I sold them. But I was gonna use them. I'm like, okay, if they want our signs to look like their signs, I'll just buy their signs.
That's right.
So I bought their sign.
No, they need to put up the sign.
That's
they
what
need
I
to
thought.
store the sign. They need to.
Correct. Damn rules. Who likes rules?
Damn it. I
It
think
was
we're like an
it was
hour.
like Frogger watching me and Brett carry this big sign across the 30.
I think I cut about 400 or 500 of these
I think
suckers.
we're about an hour 10 right now, aren't we, Nate?
Well, we're going till he's out of decals.
Yeah. Here. We'll get through.
Are you going to get all
He's got-
1,000 of them?
He's
done?
got 4 sleeves left.
I'm getting close to being. I bet you I'm halfway.
We get 1,000. We'll have a third of our pre-entries.
Let's see if there's any new ones that have.
Yeah, see if anybody new has signed up during the
It's like a
podcast.
telethon. We're going to stay on this podcast till we hit 800.
You're like
So
Ed
if-
McMahon. You're going
so
to
if-
a timpani roll?
How long does it take me to cut 52 of these?
How many are we at, Ryan?
Yeah, it's still at 783.
Come on, people, please.
Pick up the phones. Yeah.
I'm thinking of a number.
We're going to stay on here till we hit 800.
We'll be it. Well, if this was live, it might be a little, maybe a little easier to do that.
And we have talked about doing podcasts during the event, right? We are going to do these. We're going to try to do these every morning.
I think we'll do pre-race shows.
Pre-race shows,
Half hour, 45 minutes.
live
Like
broadcast.
kinda
Nate,
like
hopefully
Game
Nate,
Day on ESPN.
Nate and Chris are
bring
gonna
your
start taking-
signs. Bring your.
They're starting to take equipment to Boone today, so we should be ready to have have all of our
I would
equipment
say
and
it's
everything
safe
over
to
there.
say Chris won't be attending the pre-race
Pre-race show.
podcast.
It's before noon.
He's getting his best sleep about that time.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
just getting into that REM
You know what's
sleep.
weird about Chris? I mean, he's a super intelligent guy. A lot. So he gets up
There's
late,
another
right?
list we have
So
to
he's up
start.
at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. and I'm going home for lunch at that time, dang near. And then at like 3 in the afternoon, he needs a 20-minute nap. I'm like, you just woke up.
That noon to 3 time slot's a bitch.
It is.
But he works odd hours, and so does Nate. They're doing broadcasts from here or from their homes.
Yeah, but Nate
and,
doesn't sleep.
racing. When you're doing a broadcast that's in California from
Right.
Iowa, you're 2 hours ahead. So they struggle with all that kind of stuff, but they do a great job.
IMCA TV. Speaking of IMCA TV, where are you going to be at, Nate?
Put this up so we can end this show of.
Yeah, we got more race. We still got 2 weekends of racing for the Super National.
It does look pretty good on
Hey,
camera.
hey,
Camera.
I hate to break this to the listening audience. This will be our last podcast before the Super Nationals.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
No
what the-
podcast before Super Nationals.
Well, what the hell are you guys doing next week?
Well, apparently somebody has to go over
over
and take their crap over there and set it up.
Producer Nate's going to be otherwise
Producer
preoccupied.
Nate.
I think we'll have enough to fill our time next week, Brett. We'll go.
we could just
We'll
do-
buy
how
you
about-
some more
can't we
stickers
just
next
do-
We'll
week.
get you some more stickers.
Can we just do a big Zoom meeting?
Yeah, Nate can produce it from Boone. Everybody.
Super Nationals Zoom meeting. How's
Every,
that
yeah.
sound?
Maybe we ought to do a Super Nationals driver soon meeting. Set back about 3 hours for Brett. And he,
Thanks, Jim. I knew you were going there. I knew it. You're too predictable.
oh,
So there
we
you have
fun.
it.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I mean, you can watch a lot of racing.
Batesville.
You can watch the Prelude and the Race Saver Nationals during
At the same time.
Yep.
You know what's neat? I think we did this a couple years ago. Hopefully, we can get it done this year. We
Done.
actually
Podcast's
had
over.
we had the Race Savers
we
feature
broadcast that, didn't we?
on the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Jumbotron
Yeah.
over in
During the
Boone.
farm sessions, we would put it up there.
Nate, can we do that again this year? Try.
The steer can try, Nate. I mean, come on.
Well,
All right.
Alrighty.
Let's go to Super Nationals and like, what is it? Depending on what day this thing airs, it's like 13 or 12 days away.
Not far.
I keep thinking it's sooner.
Prelude's 12.
There you go again.
12,
There's
11,
your
11.
major
Feels
downfall thinking.
Prelude's 11 days away.
Yeah.
Yep. Get registered if you're listening and you haven't done so.
Yes.
Concrete pit stalls are sold out. But
VIP
there's still
is
plenty,
sold out.
Still plenty of pit parking.
Yeah,
for,
if you know you're coming, though, please get pre-registered. Don't
Yes.
do it there at the event. That
We
just
will
does,
not turn away any car at the gate.
Yeah.
It just slows down the
We'll
process.
have a spot to park, a pit stall to park. We'll have some place to park. If you don't register, you can come the day of any of the racing and you'll be just fine. Might be a little, you aren't going to be in the front row of anything in the parking aspect.
Might be the
but you
Wal-Mart
still be able to
parking lot.
race.
Yeah.
You can hang out
Or
with the guy
stall number
watching
3.
It just flows.
you can hang out with a guy watching IMCA TV in the can.
MRP, the staff of MRP is at our event, so they come. Josh and his whole staff come, and you have to be an MRP registered member,
Get your
whatever they
Card. Gotta have
they
the
do.
card.
Yep.
in order to enter the Super Nationals, and you have to have an IMCA license. But doing all of that stuff in registration is inefficient. It's a much faster process if everybody gets that registration
Right.
stuff done
Have
ahead
your
of time.
registration card. Have your transponder with you. Just be ready to go.
If you
once
don't have a transponder, we'll rent them. Receivers are required. We don't rent those, but you can buy them on Manufacturers Row. So you can get everything you need at the event.
All
You can come at the
divisions.
event last minute if you want. You're going to be just as welcome as the guy who bought the first entry. So
Yeah, just remember because it says right here, all divisions are required to have both.
I think most racetracks do. Any racetracks these days not require receivers.
Marshalltown, I heard.
Oh no, you got to have them, and you better listen
I-
on them too.
Are you on them?
If I get on there if I have to.
Can you imagine running races? I don't know how we did it without them.
Oh, my
to be
gosh.
quite honest, now
Big
when you look
lineup
back.
boards and an official
We
in
used
every
to have a
corner.
rule that says no communicating devices, and when they came out, we were kind of like, well, what in the hell we let everybody use these things for? They're going to cheat and talk to each other. Well, oh my gosh, can you imagine running races now without them? It's crazy. Anyhow, wrap her up.
Okay, we're out of here. Go catch
Boone.
Till
Or Eagle.
During Boone or during.
Yeah, we'll have from like a noonish Central Time, sometime in that slot. We'll have the Monday through Saturday pre-race show. We'll come up with some goofy name for it.
Yeah, we're gonna get some racers on the show too.
Yeah.
Try to make celebrities out.
Are you
of it.
guys going to be on it like we are now?
I'm gonna try.
Steer can try.
You've already used that line.
I know, but it's still not always fun.
Maybe I'll zoom in from
All
home.
right.
zoom in from home. Yeah. So hey, if you can't take in some,
I'll be your green screen in Boone.
Yeah.
if you can't make it out to some great IMCA racing between now and the Super Nationals, or between now and any time, make sure and check all that great stuff out on IMCA TV. And don't forget, if you missed something or you want to go back and watch something, buy that $24.99 30-day replay pass on IMCA
Works
TV.
in Walmart's bathrooms.
Works, yes. Walmart bathroom approved. So, all right. Next time we'll see you is at Super Nationals. Enjoy.
Did you just stop talking in mid-sentence?
No, I said enjoy.
I thought you just stopped talking in mid-sentence.
What happened? Who turned his mic
I
off?
thought could have done that about an hour and
No,
a half
I said
ago.
so. Next time we'll see you is after Super Nationals. So enjoy.